Hi guys, thanks for joining us and welcome to today's short tutorial on calculating sum functions using Excel. As evident before us, we have opened a worksheet in Excel ready to use to demonstrate the skill we are learning today in Excel. As mentioned, this is calculating sum functions using Excel. Firstly, we'll begin by simply defining how Excel defines sum function. Microsoft Excel defines sum as a formula that adds all the numbers in a range of cells. This definition clearly points out that sum function has a job to do, and that is to add numbers, and the arguments can be supplied using combinations of both numbers and ranges of cells. Range is one of the inputs in the sum function. It is important to understand the different inputs into the equation in order to explain it. Firstly, we'll begin by explaining range. The range must be clearly identified to Excel so that we can tell it what range it is summating. This information is required to correctly add total figures or totals per category for any sum total we are trying to calculate. Firstly, we need to select the range to be added. It is important to include appropriate ranges. Select the cell, range of cells, or non-adjacent selections that you want to name. For example, to select the range B2 to C4, click on cell B2 and drag to cell C4. We have now selected the range B2 to C4. To select a range of individual cells, hold down Control and click on each cell that you want to include in the range. To name cells or ranges based on worksheet labels, select the labels and the cells that are to be named. To expand further, sum function is a very popular and useful formula in Microsoft Excel. It is one of the most basic, widely used and easy to understand arithmetic functions in Excel. As the name suggests, sum function in Excel performs the addition of numbers. Sum function can accept numbers both as individual arguments and also as a complete range of cells. The Excel sum function adds together a supplied set of numbers and returns the sum of these values. The syntax of the function is sum, open brackets, number 1, number 2, close brackets. The function that sum performs is to calculate totals per category. This function is very useful when, for example, totaling donations for a political party, when they are broken down into lots of smaller entries, total number of cars by state, by postcode, or total number of anything really. The syntax of sum function in Excel can be described as follows. Sum function has two syntaxes, and hence they can be written in two different ways. Simply put, the sum function in Excel adds the arguments you enter in a formula. The first step we need to do is to open up Excel and begin to work with the data. As you can see, this is what we have done. We may be using or working with a pre-existing data set, or we may be collecting data of our own. Either way, we have entered the data into Excel. To use the sum function, we simply type in an equals sign, we type in sum, Excel will bring up the function, we double click on it, we highlight the range of cells to be added, we close brackets and click enter. As you can see, Excel has added the range of cells we have highlighted. We've selected the data to be summated dependent on what data set we are working with. While the function can be used to add the total of many different groups, as a worksheet function, the sum function can be entered as part of a formula in the cell of the worksheet. We also have some examples of some different sum functions before us: the integer sum function, decimal sum function, fraction sum function, and error sum function. That concludes this short tutorial on how to use Excel to calculate sum function. Thanks for joining us, guys, and we look forward to you doing so next time also.